Oh my goodness, do we have a lot to talk about today. First of all, Ian Garry calling out Sean Strickland on Instagram. That is literally, I was kind of expecting it, I can't lie. I mean, Sean, since he's released an original Instagram story talking about the whole Ian Garry situation, has been since like reposting things he's seen on Twitter, making little comments, calling his wife a predator and this type of thing. So we're going to sit and kind of speak a bit more about the situation and dissect it because it's absolutely crazy. First things first, here is the video that Ian Garry put on his Instagram story this morning, which I'm going to play for you right here and right now for you to watch.
More people talk, the harder I work. Got more people to prove wrong. It's not fueling me, it's pissing me off.
Yeah, dream reach.
Now we've got, I might have to win a middleweight world title before I win the welterweight.
So it's safe to say, he's even said it right there, he's not happy, he's very angry. It's not motivating him, it's just really annoying him, the whole situation. I mean, as a guy, I mean, I would be so angry. If I was in Ian Garry's situation right now, I would be absolutely raging. Can you imagine being Ian Garry right now and having hundreds of thousands of people commenting on your personal life, your relationship, and not many people would be able to handle that and be sane during that. And I think Ian Garry's getting to the point now where he was kind of embarrassed a wee bit by Sean Strickland. Sean obviously was like, oh my god, you're actually threatening to sue me, like come on, this is just cock behaviour, you're chained up by your wife, this type of thing. And it's genuinely, I think, really rubbed Ian Garry the wrong way, because he's probably sitting back and it's like, oh fuck, he's got me there. And it's just like, this is an ongoing thing, that this storyline is not gonna, I don't know what fans are wanting to get out of doing this. I mean, there's this whole thing of save Ian Garry and stuff. Does he want to be saved? That's the question. Literally, does Ian Garry want to be saved at this stage? I'm baffled by it. But anyway, let's talk about like the actual prospect of Sean Strickland fighting Ian Garry, because realistically that's not going to happen anytime soon. They definitely would not justify skipping the middleweight contenders or not having Garry fight another welterweight before getting the, it just wouldn't work. If Ian Garry wants to move up to middleweight and fight a few people there just to get that fight, that would be a very cool storyline, and then go back down to welterweight and do the business. But I feel like, don't go up to middleweight just yet, Ian Garry, unless you're promised that fight. However, I do think if this keeps going and there's this beef that kind of builds up over the next year or two, and Strickland maybe isn't the champ anymore at middleweight, and Ian Garry says, okay Strickland, I'm coming up after being the champ, and then he's going to get the belt, and it's like personal for him. Because I mean, can you imagine this? Can you imagine like your wife, your kids, your family being completely just embarrassed online, the amount of judgment you're getting from hundreds of thousands of people, and that this man really stirring the pot, calling your wife a predator? That's a big fight, and it might be more of just like a personal thing for Ian Garry, which I believe it would be, to just go out and be like, right, look, I'm the welterweight champ, but I'm going to fight the contender Sean Strickland if he doesn't have the belt. I mean, that would be absolutely hilarious. And that's a big fight in itself now, because can you imagine the press conference? Can you imagine Sean Strickland's just ripping him to bits? What's Ian Garry going to say? Sean, you don't know anything about what you're talking about. That's all Ian Garry realistically could say. Sean, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna sue you. Like, what the fuck? This sport never fails to just baffle me and amaze me. Like some of the things that comes out, it's just absolutely crazy. And this, how is Ian Garry the biggest name in combat sports right now? Like, I just don't get it. He's actually been losing followers on Instagram as well, and he's still massively talked about, but I think it's because people just don't want to follow him or be associated by him. I mean, I bought one of his hoodies like 2 years ago, so like I was an Ian Garry fan, I still am an Ian Garry fan, but I just do think this situation is so weird. Like, it's such a weird situation, and because it's so weird and everything lines up against Ian Garry, that's why people are making such a big deal out of it, because it's literally like, does this guy not notice what's going on? I mean, he's taken family photos with his wife, his kid, and his ex-husband, and the kid is in the ex-husband's hands. It's just fucking weird. It's like something you'd see out of a TV show. I mean, they should start a reality TV show realistically, because I want to see like what's going on and what comes of this. One thing I will say though is Ian Garry fighting Vicente Luque in literally 2 weeks time. I'm so excited for that now, because I feel like if Ian Garry goes out there angry, any fighter going out there angry can a lot of the time be detrimental. And it's more of like a thing, especially in MMA, if you're swinging wildly and not being focused on the task at hand, I mean, you're going to get hurt very badly, whether that be by a takedown or by like leg kick, any sort of form of, it's combat, you know. If you go out there not calm, focused and composed, then it's going to be a tough night. And I feel like Ian Garry, the whole week of the fight, if this is still going on, which I think it will be, being bullied by Sean Strickland at the press conference, being bullied by Colby, Covington, Paddy Pimblett, everybody just calling him a cock and just making his wife out to be this tyrant predator, like aggressive lady. I mean, it's going to be one of the craziest things ever, and I'm so excited for it. And I know I shouldn't be excited for the downfall of someone, but it's just going to be crazy. And you can tell the whole video, the whole point of this video is essentially saying Ian Garry is pissed off. He's so angry, and I cannot tell you what is going to come of this, because he's very talented, but we've seen him get hurt. We've seen him in trouble. If he goes out there and he loses to Vicente Luque, the whole MMA community is going to go absolutely nuts, because it's like they're going to probably bring up the fact his wife's husband, ex-husband, boyfriend, whatever. By the way, the whole thing on social media is essentially saying Ian Garry's wife's boyfriend. It's absolutely hilarious. I mean, I can't help but laugh. I mean, I'm gonna laugh. I mean, I don't care. Like, realistically, it's funny to me. Like, the whole situation is baffling. How quickly they fell into law. It's just scary as well at the same time. Like, it really, really is scary. I'm gonna make a separate video listing all of the red flags in Ian Garry's relationship, and we'll sit and dissect them, because it really is scary. It's horrifying, and it's just, it is creepy, like, right enough. As I was saying, if Ian Garry goes out here and he loses, and let's say he gets knocked out by Vicente Luque, which is completely possible, but I think Vicente's a bit timid on the feet now this past few fights, but that is with the threat of a takedown, then I would not be surprised if Ian Garry goes out here and grapples him. However, I don't think he will. He's obviously going to stand and strike with him. But let's say, for example, Ian Garry does get finished brutally by knockout. People are going to start saying it's an inside job. You know, Layla, the ex-husband's Ian Garry's nutritionist, and he's got him on a vegan diet. You know, that's why, to weaken him. And it's just going to be, the MMA community is so stupid. It's so silly, and it's just, things get thrown out all the time that have absolutely nothing to do with what's actually going on, and then people just run with them, you know. So it's just one of those things that we'll have to just sit back and see what happens, essentially. I'm quickly just going to interrupt, folks. Go click the links down below in the description for my second channel, my social medias. I also do Fiverr gigs if you want to have a wee look at them. Thank you very much, I'd appreciate that. However, I want to sit back and speak. Like, you can really tell that, I mean, this situation is getting to Ian Garry. I mean, he had that, as I showed you that video, he's angry, he's not in a good way, he's just, and imagine being him walking into, like, for example, a press conference, or imagine being him walking around to maybe a new gym or the street, and just knowing everyone in the community knows, anybody who knows who Ian Garry is knows about the situation, anybody who follows MMA has heard about the situation. I mean, the traction it's getting online is absolutely like nothing else, and it's absolutely mind-blowing to think that Ian Garry is the biggest name in combat sports. Like, I just can't go over it. Like, it's just weird, isn't it? Like, for having a weird dynamic with a 4-year-old lady. Like, it's just, and it does really come across like he has been completely brainwashed, which is just scary. And there's the whole thing of, like, saving Garry, but he does not want to be saved, and it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, but you have to remember, I mean, I can't even comprehend what Ian Garry's mental state is like at the moment. I mean, it most likely isn't in that good of a way, because truly I feel like he's confused of why people are coming up with this narrative, and he's blaming Sean Strickland for this narrative in his head, and he's getting angry at the community for not understanding, and also thinking, oh, they don't know the truth, they don't know this. You have told us the truth as fans and as a community, and the community has snapped back and said, yes, but this is weird, and this is weird, and here's the list of red flags, and you're being deluded by this love you have for this lady, and regardless of if it's in your best interests at the moment, it's going to come back and bite you in the bum. People don't seem to be grasping this. I literally just wanted to pop on to speak about that, and to speak about, you know, it most likely will be detrimental for Ian Garry going into the fight with Vicente Luque with anger on his mind, with hatred on his mind, but it could help him at the same time. But I think he's gonna crumble a little bit when he's under the lights and he knows everybody in this room knows about that situation. But we're gonna see what Ian Garry is made of so far. You know, he was a bit embarrassed by Sean Strickland being like, oh my god, you're threatening to sue me right now, like, and that was like a really funny dynamic, and I was like, oh fuck, Ian, like, you've actually like embarrassed yourself a little bit there, because you're threatening to sue another fighter, like, oh my god, over like what we know, like it's just, oh. Anyway folks, follow the vlog channel, subscribe, like, comment, as I said, click the links down below, I'd appreciate it. New videos coming soon. When I'm home, after I'm done training out here in Thailand, we'll be back in the original setup, so